Hi, I'm Chloe Chamberlain and welcome to my talk, AI in Action, Transforming Your Digital Marketing Team. I'm a Senior Digital PR Strategist at Distinctly and have been here for 3.5 years now, and I'm the co-author of our recent AI white paper, Integrating AI into Digital PR. The white paper follows our AI adoption journey of our digital PR team at Distinctly from relative zero to team-led AI innovation. So about a year ago, we set out to improve our understanding of AI. ChatGPT had come out about 9 months before that, had taken the world by storm, in headlines everywhere, and it really was the first step to making large language models available to the general public. As an agency, we want to be the forefront of innovation, and we believe that our clients deserve the best. So we wanted to make sure that we were at the forefront of understanding how AI can integrate into our everyday, but also how AI would eventually impact our clients. So as the first stage in integrating AI into our digital PR team was to create an AI policy. This consists of a written document explaining exactly how to use AI and how not to use it, which I think is the more important part. What an AI policy does is it creates boundaries. So if anyone's unsure how to use AI within the team or how not to use it, what they should and shouldn't be putting into a large language model, they can refer back to this AI policy and know exactly what not to put into ChatGPT, Google Gemini, Claude, things like that. And what creating an AI policy does is it creates confidence in the team, knowing exactly how they can and cannot use it. So once you've created an AI use policy, the next step is to measure your team's skill level to assess where there may be any gaps in their knowledge. Once you've identified these gaps in your team's knowledge when it comes to AI usage, you can then set about trainings. So for instance, a lot of your team may be very capable at using AI for proofing, but not so confident when it comes to image generation. So image generation is the one that you want to train up first, depending on whether that is something that you use within your digital marketing team, so that you're not wasting your internal time and you're really prioritizing what is needed within the team to make sure everyone is on the same playing field. We did a training probably once every couple of weeks for 2 or 3 months, and then we ran weekly workshops. And this was probably the most important part. Whilst, yes, training is very important and it's good to get everyone on the same base level, these weekly workshops is actually what improved the team's confidence in using AI for digital marketing. So these weekly workshops were set half an hour slots on each Friday afternoon for about 2 months, each week with a different theme. We made sure to assign internal time to every person in the digital PR team so they had time for these weekly workshops and they weren't over capacity and still had time to prioritize their clients. By having these weekly workshops on a Friday, it meant that people could prepare themselves and identify throughout the week anything where AI might be able to help speed up their processes. So each weekly workshop had a different theme, from ideation, image generation, press release creation, outreach, persona creation. This is when ChatGPT released their new personas, and we explored exactly how we could use that to our advantage. And our final one was to create a prompt bank where everyone could share what they found useful in one, where we can copy and paste our good prompts into ChatGPT or another LLM. Another part of these weekly workshops that were really important was accountability. And what this consisted of was everyone putting their findings, screenshots of their prompts, of the output from ChatGPT and their thoughts and learnings from this experiment. And they put it into a deck. And then in a weekly team meeting, we would go through and people would identify what they enjoyed from the session and what they thought could be improved upon, or maybe what we couldn't use AI for. Every digital marketing team is busy. We have emails coming in all the time. We have clients or internal emails to reply to, Slack messages to reply to, campaigns to produce, campaigns to outreach, pushing that aside and doing reactive outreach to whatever is going on in the news cycle. It's an incredibly fast-paced environment. By allocating time and booking it into people's calendars, it made sure that people had the time to spend on AI innovation and these workshops. What we also did to encourage participation was to create some accountability by people putting screenshots and their thoughts on what maybe failed and what they learned from those workshops into a deck that we could go through as a team. One really important part of these workshops was encouraging failure as a part of learning. Ultimately, we cannot innovate if we are afraid to fail. A key part of these workshops was encouraging failure as a part of learning. Without failure, we wouldn't be able to innovate. Being able to innovate and be playful and create a safe environment for people to take risks, whether it's using AI to help create some client content that maybe is a little bit out there, or whether it's an AI image of a bunny wearing a suit. Making sure it's a safe space for people to be creative and play really allowed us to innovate. And that was shown in our results. While not the aim of our weekly workshops, we did actually have one of our team members become inspired to create a campaign which used AI to help imagine what iconic places throughout the UK would look like if they were covered with cherry tree blossom. This campaign ended up being produced and it generated over 30 links and pieces of coverage from many different regional websites. This was just one result of how these workshops paid off. Going back to the survey I mentioned earlier, once we completed these workshops, we then created another survey with the exact same questions and sent them out to the team. And what we found from that was understanding from AI increased by 67% across digital PR executive levels, so the more junior levels in the team. And perceived AI competency improved by 35% throughout the team. We also saw that AI tools are used more regularly to support day-to-day activity. And ultimately, that was our main goal of integrating AI into our digital marketing team. Using AI tools to regularly support day-to-day activity is exactly what we wanted our outcome to be, because ultimately AI is there to support us rather than replace us. By encouraging this ecosystem of everyday innovation within the team, we were able to then go and create some of our own AI tools. We know, for example, at Distinctly, we often use AI, ChatGPT, Google Gemini, Claude, for example, to bounce headline ideas off each other and subject line ideas. This is something that's really useful, especially when we are working from home. It's not like just being in the office where you can lean over and ask someone a quick question on what they think for different headlines. You might be able to send them a quick message, but ultimately you're never going to get that same real life feedback. Whereas if you're using ChatGPT or Google Gemini, etc., you can bounce off of AI. It will give you all different alternatives, which we don't copy and paste, but instead we use it as a form of ideation. So by identifying this use case, our data analyst in the team was able to create the Distinctly headline grabber, where you're able to input a sentiment that you want to be created and the headline of the piece that you're creating. It will then give you 5 different alternatives with the sentiment that you've chosen, and you can keep on repeating. So that's just one use case that we got out of these workshops, and it is very useful and helps support the team on a day-to-day basis. Another lot of tools that we like to use are Ahrefs writing tools. Again, they have loads of different functions, so if you or your team don't particularly like crafting in-depth prompts, or isn't something that anyone feels particularly comfortable with, then using these writing specific tools is a really good way to help integrate AI into your team. It can even just be the first few steps, and as you become more familiar with the different outputs and what you're wanting from it, you can then start to use that to inform how you're prompting ChatGPT. So now you've integrated AI successfully into your digital marketing team. What's next? Well, encouraging the team to use AI in their day-to-day on a regular basis is really important. That can be from selecting one person to share a prompt each week that they've been enjoying using, or to name something that they found hasn't been so useful when they're using ChatGPT, just to ensure that the team are regularly using it. Encouraging AI use into your everyday is the ultimate goal. What's really interesting is looking at how AI is affecting digital marketing as a whole. So not only do we need to integrate AI into our workflows, but we also need to look at how AI is functioning in the digital marketing sphere. The biggest change in this has been Google integrating AI into the SERPs with their AI overview. Now, what's really interesting about this is the fact that your brand can essentially skip all the organic rankings and appear at the very top of the SERPs, even if you're not ranking highly yourself. Ultimately, if you're ranking highly in the SERPs, then you're going to appear in AI overviews, which is great. One way to get your brand into the AI overviews without your website ranking that highly for your keywords is to create campaigns and stories that you outreach to the press with your target keywords. This means that the AI overviews are more likely to use the high authority publications with your client or your brand's news. So how can you get your brand ranking in AI overviews if you're struggling to rank in the SERPs? Well, digital PR is one major way to achieve this. By creating digital PR campaigns with your keywords in mind, you can outreach these to journalists at high authority publications, which are more likely to be picked up by AI overviews. Also, outreaching these campaigns to trade press is likely to get you into the AI overviews. And ultimately, because of these AI overviews, creating on-site content for your website to accompany these campaigns will be more important than ever. Because not only can the AI overview link to your national piece of coverage, your trade publication piece of coverage, but also your client or your brand's website. So integrating AI into your digital marketing team is more important than ever. Not only using it for day-to-day innovation, but also to understand the wider AI landscape and how it is affecting the digital marketing industry. If you enjoyed this talk, then please give Distinctly a follow and myself a follow, Chloe Chamberlain on LinkedIn and Blue Sky, and at Chloe Digital PR on Twitter /X. Thank you for listening.